welcome to today's video. If you noticed, I'm sorry I skipped my last Friday upload, and that is because this is my third attempt at filming this video. Every time I film it, I go to edit it and I just am not happy with how it's coming out. I feel like it's confusing, it's weird, I just don't like it. So here we are again. But yeah, it forced me to miss last week's upload just because I wasn't happy with it, and I have been trying to refilm it several times and it's not happening. So hopefully third time is a charm and we can get through this. But today's video is kind of like a life update. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that Sean and I are building a house. I've been getting some questions about it, so I thought that I would do this video and kind of talk about our process thus far, what's been going on, how it happened, and all that stuff. And it'd be nice for Sean and I to be able to look back at this, you know, in a couple years and just kind of see how everything happened, because it has been crazy, you guys, like absolutely crazy. We're gonna get into it. I have notes on my phone this time, so hopefully it'll be easier for me to get through this. So the first thing I want to talk about is our property situation. So my family lives on about 40 acres, so my parents said that they would gift us a chunk of property so that we could build a house on, which we are so thankful for. So the house that we're currently living in right now actually is a little mobile home that is super old. It's actually the mobile home that my parents lived in when they were building their house, so it's cool now. Me and Sean get to live in it while we're building our house. But not right next door, but fairly close to the mobile home is my parents' house. Obviously the mobile home has its own septic and stuff like that. So my parents said that we could build on this chunk of property, which would be super easy because the septic's already here. It's easy to get water here and all of that stuff. We were looking at another piece of property, but it's kind of pushed back, and to get like utilities and all that stuff to the piece of property was going to be way too expensive. So they let us build where the mobile home is. So we're going to live in the mobile home while it's being built, and then after we move into the house, we are going to get rid of the mobile home. So we picked our property, and then we need to decide between or pick which house builder we wanted to go with. We thought for a little while we were going to do a modular home, which the difference between a modular and a stick built is a modular is built in like a factory and then they drive it to you in pieces, and a stick built is built on your piece of property from the foundation ground up. So we were looking into modulars at first because we thought that we would save some money, and modulars have come a really long way. When we went to look at them, you can't even really tell that they're modular. They look like a normal stick built house. But a couple of things were wrong that we didn't like with the modulars. One is that they decrease in value, so if we ever wanted to resell, which we hopefully never will have to. I can't see a reason why we'd ever want to sell this house. This is our forever home. It's on our family's property. Like, this is where we want to be. So we didn't really see an issue with the resale value, but it is something definitely to consider, obviously. And then also the prices were not that much cheaper at all. So we decided to go with the stick built because, I mean, if the prices are the same and the resale value is better, I mean, it just makes sense to go with the stick built. So that's what we did. And then we had to decide on which home builder we wanted to use. So we went and talked to, I think, every single local home builder that is around us, which is different than like a contractor. So a contractor, you know, designs your house and builds it for you. So this home builder, you choose from a selection of like made up floor plans, and you can move and change stuff as much as you want, but obviously that's going to cost money. So we decided to just go with a normal home builder, not like an actual contractor. Thought the home builder would just be a little bit easier. It's kind of what everyone's doing nowadays. So after talking to a bunch of the different home builders and talking to people who have recently built a home with all the different home builders, we officially decided on one. I'm not going to say any company names or builder names or any sort of thing like that. I kind of waffled back and forth on if I should or shouldn't, but I'm not going to be talking greatly about these companies in a little bit, and I just don't feel right dragging them. If you have a specific question, if you're like serious about building a house and you want to know who we use, then privately DM me and I will definitely tell you, but I'm not here to vent their name all over the place. But like I said, if you have a specific question, if you really want to know who we use, then DM me and I will tell you. So after we decided on our home builder, we signed our contract back in September. And Honestly, I think this is one of the areas we went wrong. I think that we should have waited to sign our contract until we had our loan, but we just felt a little pressured to sign our contract. I don't know, the whole situation felt a little bit weird, and we just felt a little bit pressured to sign the contract before doing anything else. So we signed our contract back in September, and then right after that we started working on getting our loan. Getting the loan was honestly like the easiest part. Like, it's a lot of paperwork, you have to get a lot of quotes and stuff like that, but it's been the easiest part thus far. So yeah, like I said, we needed to gather quotes. We needed to gather quotes for the well, which we thought we needed a well. I'll get back to that in a minute. Quotes for the well, the septic, side work, flat work, painting, appliances, all that sort of stuff. So the bank wanted to see all those numbers so we could count up how much the total project's gonna cost and all that. So we needed to get quotes and paperwork and all that stuff together. So one of those quotes we needed to gather was for the septic system. So they needed to come out, dig some perk holes, which is basically just huge holes in the ground to check the soil, see how much it was gonna cost to get it up to code and all that stuff, since it is a fairly old septic system. The septic guy that we hired comes out, he brings his big tractor excavator thing so we could dig the holes, gets out of his truck, stands in our driveway for literally 15-20 minutes, looks around at the ground where the septic system is, but you can't see anything, it's under the ground, and basically says, yeah, it all looks good. I don't even really think I need to dig any perk holes. I'll just say it's okay, and left. Okay, so we thought that was a little bit weird, but we think, well, he must know what he's doing, like maybe he's talked to the county, so we'll just go for it. So they get us a quote for that, and we say good to go, we think. So after that, that was the only weird thing with getting the quotes that happened, and then we finished getting all the quotes, gave that to the bank, and our loan ended up closing in January, I think. After the loan closes, it is time to officially apply for building permits. A very, very exciting time. So we pay the same people that came and looked at our septic to apply for our building permits an outrageous amount of number to apply for building permits for us. If I could go back and redo this, I would. I don't think this is necessary. I definitely regret paying that much money for them to do it. I just feel like we could have done it faster, we could have done it better, whatever. So we pay them this huge chunk of money to apply for our permits. As she goes to apply for the permit, she finds two problems. A, that something wasn't finalized with the septic system. She finds it finally when she goes to apply for permits. Well, isn't that what you were supposed to do? I don't know if I said the date, but he came and looked at the septic back in October, and this is like January, February-ish, and she's just now finding it. So did they not look at county records? Did they not look at anything to check on the septic? Obviously not. So that was the first problem that they found. And the second problem they found was we didn't have our well in. We were just told from our home builders right after our loan closes to submit for building permits. Well, when we go to submit for building permits, they're saying that we cannot submit for building permits until we have our well. So those were the two big problems we found when we went to apply for building permits. So going with the septic thing, we'll talk about the well in a minute. I asked her, what do we need to do to get this finalized? She basically says, go talk to the county. So I go talk to the county, and thankfully it was an easy mistake that just something needed to be written off. It wasn't really a big deal. So we got that taken care of. And then in the middle of all this stuff happening, our home builder calls us and says, so since you've taken so long, since you signed your contract back in September and it's like February now, our prices have increased on our homes, and so you're gonna need to pay an extra $12,000. So I go, well, we already signed our contract. Why are we subject to price increases? Like, I thought we were locked into this number that we already counted for. And he goes, well, yeah, but in your contract, you're only locked into that number for 3 months. And if you're not in construction within those 3 months, then you're subject to price increases. Well, no one ever told us that. We had no idea. We were just told to sign the contract. That's all they wanted us to do. So he basically says that, I'm gonna give you guys a break, and, since I know you guys have had some trouble with your septic and stuff, you'll go ahead and pay the $4,000 now, and we'll give you until June, and if you're not in construction in June, then, you'll have to pay the rest of the $8,000. So, I mean, there's nothing we can do about this point. We pay the $4,000. It is what it is, and we are just praying to God that we're in construction by June, so we do not have to pay the $8,000. But so that happened, and then, okay, so now going back to the well. Isn't this crazy, you guys? I don't know if everyone's home building experiences are this crazy, but ours have just been absolutely insane. So now going back to the well. So after she tells us that we need the well before we're going to apply for the building permits, we call the well guy. The well guy comes out, looks at everything. He says, okay, looks good. You're going to need to go and apply for a permit for the well tomorrow. So I go in, apply for the well, pay the money, whatever. And the next day I get an email from the county saying that I see you put an application for a well. Well, actually, your piece of property that you have is too small to share a septic tank with a well. So you can't have a well, pretty much. So, I mean, we freak out because the city already told us that there was no way that they'd give us city water. We had already looked into that. We were stuck with a well. So we don't have city water. We don't have a well. We have a huge X amount of loan that we have already going. We have signed contracts. Like, what are we supposed to do? So I go back to the city and talk to the city water people and basically tell them our situation and say, can you look again? So the whole frustrating part about the water is that the mobile home that we're currently living in is on city water right now, and we just want to build a house right behind it. So you would think it would just be a super easy, quick transfer from the mobile home to the new house. So it's weird that they wouldn't give it to us. So I went back into the city and I was like, hey, here's the situation. We can't have a well anymore. Like, can you look more into it? Because it's weird that, like, the mobile home we're currently living in has city water and you won't give it to us. Like I don't understand. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'll look again. So he asked for the parcel number again. And he goes, yeah, we don't even do water out there. Like, no, you're through a different company. And I go, no, it's the city water. I get a bill every month. I know who I pay. And he's like, no, we don't supply you with water. You need to call this other company. So I call this other company and they're like, those people are stupid. We have no water anywhere near where you are. Like, you need to go back to the city. So I go back to the city and I'm like, dude, like, I am on city water. I get my water from the city. Here's my bill. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. And he's like, well, what's your parcel number again? And he looks it up and he goes, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Our computer must be wrong. So basically he said there was some weird computer glitch where it showed that we weren't on city water, but we actually were on city water. So they gave us city water. It's so crazy saying it back, how just weird this whole situation has been. So yeah, in a nutshell, we got city water, huge hurdle we dropped there. And not only do we get city water, not only is that going to be better for our timeline, it'll be faster. We don't have to wait for a well to be installed. Also, city water is a lot cheaper than a well. A well is not cheap. So they grant us city water. She went to apply for the permits and they said that their appointments were booked out for a while to make an appointment to apply for the permits. So we do have an appointment. It is next Wednesday. So this video will go up on Tuesday. So the day after you see this video, we will have applied for permits. Hopefully nothing else goes wrong. But yeah, that's our story thus far. So it's been crazy, but I mean, honestly, things have worked out fairly well, except for our home builder saying that if we're not in construction in June, then we'll have to pay an extra $8,000. It's gonna suck. We're applying for permits halfway through April and they say anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to get our permit, so it's gonna be close. We'll see how that unwinds, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like every company, every person that I talk to, every person from the city, every person from the county that I've talked to have just been rude and just not wanting to do their job. It's just like getting them to do their job, to look into things, to find things for me is literally like pulling teeth. Like even if I pay them to do it, it's like it still takes forever for them to do it. It takes forever for them to email me back, forever for them to return my calls. It's just a very frustrating experience to feel like no one cares or no one wants to do their job. So one tip that I definitely want to give you guys is definitely do your research and read your own reviews. I went only by word of mouth, and a couple of these places were recommended from the home builder, and so I didn't look into any reviews or anything, and I'm shooting myself in the foot because of it. I just went off word of mouth, and I wish that I had read my own reviews. I wish that I had done my own research on companies. Yeah, it was stupid on my part, but I mean, honestly, the only company that's been an issue for us is the septic company that we used. Everyone else has been okay. The home builder, a little bit iffy, but I had several people tell me that this was a good home builder, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's just been crazy, but hopefully we're smooth sailing now, and hopefully once we get our building permits, I feel like things are hopefully going to move fast. And then I was hoping we'd be in the house by next Christmas, but now I'm not really sure. It might be early 2020 now, which is crazy to say. Oh my gosh. Can you believe we're almost halfway through 2019? It's just insane. But yeah, hopefully end of 2019, early 2020, we will be done. But yeah, so you probably won't see any videos about house updates for the next few weeks because we will be applying for permits. So we'll be in kind of limbo right now, just waiting for that to get approved. But soon I will be doing, lots of, building videos and stuff, so make sure you're subscribed for those. But that is all I have to tell you guys. Hopefully this video is not too long, and hopefully it wasn't too confusing. I feel like it was a little smoother the third time that I filmed it, so hopefully you guys didn't find it confusing. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, DM me on Instagram. My Instagram will be down here and linked in the description box, so feel free to ask away, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.